Welcome to Wheel to Mill in Daventry for round 6 of the Daytona DMAX Inter Enduro Championship. We're about to start the second half of the season today, but before we do that, let's have a look at what's happened in the first half. Bobby Trundley has been the man to beat all season once again. He's taken 3 wins so far. The man in chase is Tor Ryan. Tor Ryan took a win last time at Shennington, and that's really thrown his name into the hat for the championship. Brought him quite close to Bobby in the championship. Alan Curtis also going along quite well. He took a win at Buckmore Park a couple of rounds ago. So really between those 3, Anthony Kirk, Mike Coppin and Xander Mahoney, 3 men trying to chase them down. But overall it's looking a two-way battle here between Bobby Trundley and Tor Ryan. So that's what's happened so far in the championship. Let's go and see what happens in qualifying. Drivers have just come in from qualifying session for Inter Enduro, and James Perry has taken pole position. He's just coming down there in the red race suit. We'll go in and speak to him. We'll probably chat to Tor Ryan in a second.
Hello.
How you doing, James?
Very good.
Pole position.
Oh really? Well,
yes. Well, you must be happy with that.
Yeah, the car felt really good actually. I was here last night. I've not gone very well here in the past, and I was here last night just trying a few lines, and I thought I found a bit of time. So yeah, really pleased with that.
Well, last time this happened, you were saying, "Oh, there's no chance I'm going to take the win." Now, I guess that feeling must have changed a little bit.
Yeah, I'll be going for the win. Yeah.
Good stuff. It's nice to see your confidence growing. Ollie Peacock was 7th place. We'll speak to Tor Ryan actually, because you're right up there in the championship and down the field. A couple of drivers struggling that one.
Yeah.
You were one of them. You got a lot of places to make up.
Yeah, 16th I believe, or somewhere near the back. Just got to do what I can in the race, I guess. See if I can push on up the field.
Well, best of luck.
Cheers,
best
mate.
of luck.
Thank you.
Well, Mike Coppin also struggled.
Hey.
How you doing?
I'm alright. You seem to like talking to me every time I have a bad qualifying session.
Yeah, that's
Which
why.
seems to be every round this year.
So what happened that time?
I just couldn't get a feel. Every time I was coming round, I've got Chris in my ear, and he said, "You're about a second off." And I don't know if I think half of it's me, half of me I didn't have enough feel under the brake pedal. I'm quite sensitive to brakes, so and I kept either not getting enough bite or dropping it on the brakes was a bit too much. So I think I'm dropping time anyway. So here we go. It's
obviously a heavy braking circuit, isn't it? Not a lot of straights, to be honest. So you have got feel
all about brakes, isn't it? Yeah, and it seems quite tight. There's about a second between the top 20, I think. So
yeah,
it's close. It is close. But yeah, disappointed because I thought I'd had the pace to run top 5 today and then push on and see if I can go for the first enduro win. But we'll see.
Best of luck. Best of luck. If anyone can, Mike Coppin can. Has a nice rhyme to it. I'm going to try and find Chris Hackworth. There he is. Chris was right up there. We'll try and speak to Chris. You had a good lap right at the end there.
Yeah,
slipstream
off the driver.
Right place, right time?
Right time, yeah. I feel my car's got a good grip, maybe a bit too much grip with the tyres. It's not releasing and building the revs on the corner exits. So with the penalty system, they're saying running wide is maybe a penalty, which could hopefully benefit me. I'm not going to be running wide at Touchwood, but if I can stay with the top 3 and that, like I say, I'm not sure I'm a true pace on my own, but if I can stay in the slipstream, anything can happen.
You're right up there. You like this track. Obviously had a popular result here that time where you spun on the warm-up lap and then charged through the field. I had to mention it. It's not going to happen that.
It's not happening again.
This time it will all go well on the warm-up lap, and what's going to happen from there?
Hopefully I can keep hold with James, hopefully. I mean, I was trying to find clear air and I got clear air, and I just thought, hold on a minute, I knew that James was matching me a little bit, so I just thought, hang on, ease off and let him by. It's a shame I did it on the last bloody lap, but it was brilliant, I have to admit. But just got to try and keep up. I'm a little bit heavier this race, I'm 2 kilos overweight, but just try and use that to my advantage, use my knowledge to my advantage. That's what I'm hoping to do.
Good stuff, good stuff. Thank you for speaking to us, Bobby. Where were you, Alan?
I think I'm 9th at the moment.
Yeah, top 10.
I'm a bit disappointed because I was right behind Xander at the time and just mucked it up at the boot on the very last bit. So I thought I was going to be at least with him. You know, he was faster than me just by a bit, but I thought I'd be a little bit closer. So 9th is okay, top 10, but wanted a little bit higher.
Mixed grid, isn't it? This time there's some quick drivers out the top 10.
Yeah.
and I don't know, it seems to be a very open race. That was an open qualifying session, not normal, if you like.
It was. I think Wilton Mill is a home track for a lot of people round here, so I think there's a little bit of advantage. I think that changes the mix as well. Some of us were, we're still learning the track really and getting used to it. That's not an excuse, it's just part of the, some of us go to Sandown, for example, more often than here, So no, overall, though, it's great to have open racing. I love it.
Good stuff. We'll get one more with Ollie Peacock, who has had a very good record at this track if he doesn't run away from me. Ollie has had podiums a lot of times here. We will try and speak to him. Ollie, I think you were 7th in the end. You like this track. You've had some very good results around here in the past. You must be confident heading into this race that you can make up some of that time.
Yeah, I think given the season I've had, I'm not coming in with the greatest run of form, but it's always good to be home effectively. Felt really comfortable the minute I went round on the outlap, so yeah, felt like just returned to a familiar pair of shoes or something like that. It was just like really got in, felt good. Lap time wasn't quite there, but I'm only 10th and half of 3rd, and I think Bobby and James are 3 tenths up the road, so they'll probably run away. But I think behind them probably 3rd through to maybe 10th even, will be pretty close. So try and get some positions on lap 1. Try that on the back of Bobby and James and see how it goes.
Good stuff. Good luck for the race. Ollie, thank you for speaking to us. Well, that is some of the drivers we got to speak to in qualifying. There are the karts. They are empty at the moment. Drivers going to be jumping in any second, and there's an hour's race ahead of us. Here's Alex Goldschmidt with the grid.
Thank you very much, Chris. Good to hear from the likes of Tor Ryan and Mike Copping, who qualified way down the order. Of course, James Perry, our pole setter for today for round 6 of the 2017 Daytona DMAX Inter Enduro Championship. Let's quickly run you through the grid. It's James Perry and Bobby Trundley on the front row, Chris Hackworth and Andrew Tempest on row 2, ahead of Xander Mahoney and Richard Lacey on row 3. Ollie Peacock, Curtis Mitchell on row 4. Alan Curtis and Anthony Kirk row 5, ahead of David Stephen, Pete Lepan, Nuno Costa, Daniel Russell, Jordan Taylor, Tor Ryan, Lee Carey, Mike Copping. Tor Ryan and Mike Copping, 2 of the championship contenders, along with Bobby Trundley. You've also got Philip Senior in 19th.
Ollie Peacock's had a spin. Sorry, he's just had a spin at turn 6.
That's going to put him to the back of the grid.
Well,
possibly.
No. There's still a few karts at the back, so he'll be fine.
Okay, so they're halfway around the track at the moment. So as I was saying, 19th Philip Senior ahead of Seb Cook. Sylvain Depere down in 21st ahead of Tom Eastwood, Stuart Shearman, Andy Stobart and Antonio Caccioli, Nigel Foote, James Browning, John Donnelly and Mark Edman. And Andy Stobart is the head of communications for Renault Sport Racing. He's not at Silverstone, he's here with us contesting both Enduro and Heats here at DMAX.
Right, through the last corner they come then, an hour ahead of us. That's James Perry and Bobby Trundley on the front row. We've already had some drama. Mike Coppins had a bit of problems. Ollie Peacock's been sent to the back, but we're off and racing, and Perry's got a nice lead going through turn 1. Hackworth goes through to 2nd place, and Xander Mahoney is going to take 3rd. Bobby Trundley runs wide out of turn 2. We're all through safely as they make their way up to turn 3 for the first time. James Perry and Chris Hackworth have the gap. Mahoney's also got a bit of a gap in 3rd place. Richard Lacey goes through to 5th place. I think that's is that Curtis? Well, he's in about 8th place. Curtis Mitchell, I think, is in 6th place. As they make their way now through turn 7. No incidents at turn 6 onto the back straight for the first time. And James Perry looks over his shoulder. He's had a win already this season at Sandown Park. Is he about to take his 2nd win? Seemed very confident when we spoke to him at the end of qualifying. Let's see if he can take that now into the race, Alex, as we complete lap 1.
Yes, so it's James Perry leading from Chris Hackworth. Chris Hackworth has jumped from 3rd to 2nd, and Bobby Trundley's now down in 4th place as the field starts streaming its way into turn 3. James Perry getting the whole shot, but so did Chris Hackworth, and Hackworth currently 6th in the standings on 145 points. As I said earlier on when we were talking about qualifying, Chris Hackworth is wanting to make amends, and he's already doing so within the first couple of laps up to 2nd. Could he challenge Perry, or could he hold back and wait until the time is right to strike?
Ollie Peacock's already made about 8 places, by the way, on that opening lap. Not too sure we'll catch where he is at the end of the next lap. Can see Mike Coppin as well. He's only a few
karts ahead of him. He's around 15th place, I'd say, maybe just a bit further forward than that. As Zander Mahoney looking very quick in the early stages of the race here. He's pulling in on the two leaders. Through turn 2 they go. James Perry holding a nice pace, but it's Zander Mahoney and Bobby Trundley who are the dangermen, 3rd and 4th. 5th is Richard Lacey. 6th, Curtis Mitchell. Oh, and Alan Curtis trying to make a move further back there. I'm not too sure who that was on.
Jordan Taylor's, meanwhile, up to 17th. Number 6 has been... Oh, that's James Perry. Got a curb warning from race control just there.
Jordan Taylor's just made a move on Phillips Senior. He's now behind Mike Coppin in 16th place.
Who's also been given a curb warning by race control as well. We saw attrition last time out as there's a gaggle of karts where I can see Alan Curtis in the mix.
Ollie Peacock's up to about 20th, I think, now.
Tor Ryan's up to 12th place, so the two championship contenders that are trying to get one up on Bobby Trundley, and there's a move up the... Oh, that's a brilliant... Zander Mahoney has got the bit between his teeth. He's gone up the inside into turn 2. He's got nose ahead, and right behind him is Bobby Trundley. Bobby Trundley's gone up the inside of the pair of them into turn 3. Wow! Where did that one come from Bobby Trundley? Right up the inside of both Zander Mahoney and Chris Hackworth to retake 2nd place.
Alan Curtis is leading the chasing group behind our lead.
Oh, Mike Copping spun going into turn 1. He clipped the side of somebody there. I was just trying to make out who that was. Was that Jordan Taylor?
Perhaps.
I think that's Jordan Taylor. That was a battle for 15th place, and Mike Copping went to go round the outside, having the inside into turn 2, and touches the side of Jordan Taylor's side pod and goes spinning. Here we go.
Phillips Senior, black flag.
Oh.
Tor Ryan makes a move coming down in towards turn 6. It's a good battle on track, that one. You see Jordan Taylor in that as well, so that puts Tor Ryan down to 8th place. Lacey and Mitchell pushing each other along, and here comes a change for the lead up at turn 3. Bobby Trundley hits the front. It's only taken him 7 laps to get there. And oh well, Alex,
that's a black flag, for the number 3. That's Ollie Peacock.
Wow, he was coming through the field well, but Ollie Peacock has received a black flag.
Oh, so I've just been heard. There's been
so 17.
Yeah, advantage by contact, hence the black flag for Ollie Peacock there.
Change 4th. Oh, well, an attempted change for 4th. Richard Lacey's going to try and get the switch back on Chris Hack without the boot. He does. Curtis Mitchell's now going to try and put one up the inside. Can't get through, but Lacey is through to 4th place. It's a 4-way scrap here for 4th on the road. Lacey, Hackworth, Mitchell and Tempest in that order up towards turn 3. And on the defensive goes Richard Lacey as Ollie Peacock enters the track once again. And there goes Curtis Mitchell around the outside of Hackworth. Here comes Tempest. He's trying to get through as well. Can't quite get through. So Curtis Mitchell is now into 5th place. Up the inside of Chris Hackworth. No one wants to give the position. Hackworth in the end gives in. Tempest is up to 6th place. And Hackworth having a bit of a miserable race so far. Not been going his way at all. Behind Jordan Taylor now goes up the inside of Tor Ryan. Tor Ryan's going to try and hold on around the outside, gets the place back. And you feel that change of positions is not too far away though. James Perry up front is the quicker of the two leaders and has been for a couple of laps now, and a mistake from Trundley that time. He runs wide at turn 2. That's going to open the door up. Here comes James Perry on the inside. James Perry retakes the lead on lap 13. We're just over 10 minutes in, and James Perry not having any of it. The reigning champ may be leading, but James Perry wants his 2nd win of the season. And Alan Curtis throws one up the inside of Hackworth. Almost a bit of contact. He's going to be
Jordan Taylor goes up the inside into turn 8. Up the inside into turn 8. Jordan Taylor. Oh, and pushes Alan Curtis onto the grass, heading in towards the boot. Well, Alan Curtis absolutely furious with that move.
I'm going to take Jordan Taylor's side on that one. Alan Curtis did not give up the corner. You have to give up the corner when you're on the outside. It's as simple as that. Alan Curtis did not give up the move, and got what he had coming for him, in my opinion. That's racing. I'm sorry, mate.
6 laps down on the rest.
Jordan Taylor, sorry, up the inside of Chris Hackworth into turn 1. Should get the run coming out of turn 2. He does. So Jordan Taylor on the move. What is that now? 7th place.
Look who he's pulling along with him.
Taylor.
Look who he's pulling along with him. Tor Ryan is in the mix ahead of...
Just going to say, Jordan.
And Jordan Taylor has been given a warning flag for contact as well.
Well, that'll be for that.
But Hackworth is coming under increasing pressure going into turn 7 through Tor Ryan. Alan Curtis is making some ground there as well, but Chris Hackworth could be under attack very shortly. Tor Ryan's got a really good run heading towards the boot. Tor Ryan's alongside him, heading up the inside. He makes the move stick. Brilliant move there by Tor Ryan.
Alan Curtis goes through as well.
Well, Alan Curtis, you're throwing a right hook that we didn't see coming. Brilliant move there into the boot, coming out of the right-hander. So that's 2 places dropped by Chris Hackworth, dropping him down into 10th place. And Jordan Taylor's coming across the start-finish line with Tor Ryan right behind him. So this is a 3-way scrap. This is going to really heat up for 6th place now, Chris, as the trio go up the hill. Jordan Taylor's going up the inside of Tempest, heading up into turn 3. He takes the inside line. Tor Ryan tries to go with him. Little nudge on the back bumper, but that was very close, gentlemen. So that puts Jordan Taylor up into 6th. There's yellow flags at there is yellow flags just at that particular corner.
And
someone's clipped the tyres. So on that runoff area, I've just had some notification that Mike Copping's actually sustained an injury, so he has officially retired.
Bobby Trundley back into the lead. They were passing a back marker, so I wonder if that had anything to do with it. Perry also just looking down at the cart there. I wonder if he's had a bit of an off, which we didn't quite see. We thought that battle had really calmed down. And Bobby Trundley retakes the lead.
Oh, there's pedestrians at the track at the top. What? So that's why the yellow flags were out. We've got a full...
Well, not exactly the best place to go and watch, is it?
No. So
please hurry up, gentlemen. We have a race to get on with.
Curtis Mitchell was thinking... He's gone round the outside. Curtis Mitchell went round the outside of Richard Lacey, going into turn 7. Well, would you stone the crows on that one, Chris? I've never seen that before.
No, well, all I can say is Richard Lacey must have over-defended the corner. Anticipated what happens a lot in that corner is if you defend, often you'll leave yourself vulnerable into turn 8, and I imagine Richard Lacey was trying to cover that off.
Oh, and Jordan Taylor's made up a place as well on Richard Lacey. That's Jordan Taylor up into, well, nearly did.
Didn't quite get through up towards turn 3. I think he'll make it though as they head up towards turn 3 now. Jordan Taylor's going to go up the inside. There he goes, and that is 5th place now for Jordan Taylor. On a charge, podium just ahead of him. Zana Mahoney at the moment, somehow still hanging on. That Richard Lacey move, giving him the a little bit of breathing space here, but any second now you can just see Curtis Mitchell making this move. I hate to say it, Zander, but your time's running out. Got to find some pace from somewhere.
And back markers being instructed by the marshals to get out of the way whilst...
Oh, and Jordan Taylor's going to lose a place. Well, good driving there. Jordan Taylor, understandably a little bit cross, but the gap was on the inside. Richard Lacey saw it first. Tor Ryan
has been pulling along. Alan Curtis is up the inside of Tor Ryan, going into turn 6 there, I believe. Brilliant move, and that's for 7th.
Tor Ryan's not happy with it.
I have noticed that both Tor and Alan have been working together a bit.
Well, I thought that was a change. That was Richard Lacey, going past back marker. Jordan Taylor taking the chance to look over his shoulder. We'll see that he's in a pretty good position. They've all just gone past our guest from Renault Sport F1. I say our guest. He's just entered the race, and it's great to have him here.
Oh, and Tor Ryan and Alan Curtis.
I tell you what, up the inside of Alan Curtis. I think that was Andrew Tempest. Tor Ryan now takes them both. Well, there was a bit of arm waving going on between Ryan and Curtis.
To say let's move
and
forward.
Tempest is going to let him back through. Tempest is going to let Alan Curtis back through here, and good driving. That should save him getting a penalty. He has lost them both a place to Tor Ryan, but at least he did the decent thing, Alex. Richard Lacey forming a train here. They're trying to go after Zana Mahoney. At the moment, They haven't been able to do so in Curtis Mitchell. His patience has run out. He throws one up the inside of Lacey. Lacey runs wide. Curtis Mitchell's not going to make the place. What about down at turn 6? Here they go, Alex.
Oh, that was
well.
Jordan Taylor. That was very. That was reminiscent of the move between, I think, Almu and Zastovic.
Well, what happened there?
Well, it looked like was that Curtis Mitchell? I think it was. Curtis went to try and turn in. Jordan had the inside line, and it was.
As you said, that was a Tomek Almu situation.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So that does show that when one tries to turn in and the other one's up the inside, if there's the slightest amount of contact, the car on the outside will go straight on.
Don't know what the gap did that time, but Jordan Taylor is now going up the inside of Richard Lacey up at turn 3. None of them want to give the corner up, and Richard Lacey holds on. So they're back together once again at turn 5. Richard Lacey, Jordan Taylor, and Curtis Mitchell, and Zander, all the meanwhile driving away from them, Alex.
And I've just had confirmation that our third retiree, the man that qualified in 7th place, Ollie Peacock, now out of the running for this particular race, so that's a shame.
As Jordan Taylor now goes up the inside of Richard Lacey, and that time makes the move stick. I think that's 3rd or 4th or 5th time lucky for Jordan Taylor, now into 4th place. Is he the man to lead this trio of drivers? Oh, and well, got a bit of a tap from behind there, wasn't too happy with that.
Oh, and Jordan Taylor's right on the back bumper of Zander Mahoney going into turn 1. The pair head into turn 2. It's going to be up the hill into turn 3. Jordan Taylor's thinking about it. Is he going to push it?
No.
No.
Mahoney defends. Now the gap's 3.2 seconds. Just to let you know, Jordan Taylor's got to do this move now. Turn 6, which is where they're heading. Doors open, but he doesn't go through. Didn't quite get the run. What's going wrong with James Perry? He's all over the place.
Chris, I've just had a brief look at the lap times. James.
Oh, let he slow down. He slowed right down coming out the boot. James Perry, what a disaster. Oh no, he's going to come to a stop. Is that race over? James Perry across the start-finish line. And what has happened? Now, either he's had a problem or no energy. I couldn't think that would happen.
Well, it is quite a physical track here at Wilton with
very
the way it
demanding.
Is. So whether it's
I don't know what's happened. We'll try and get the story, but at turn 7, that's our new battle for 2nd place. What is
and Taylor's thrown it up the inside going into turn 1, taking 2nd from Zander Mahoney. He really got the run coming out of that final corner. And so it's not just turn 3 that Jordan Taylor has shown his prowess at, it's also coming out of the final turn into turn 1. Zander Mahoney, I think, has got a resurgence. I think he's had his 2nd wind here, Chris.
Yes, potentially. Well, he's within half a second. Often when you get behind a driver that's chased you down, just following their lines. You know, Zander Mahoney's had absolutely no one to follow all race. It's a very hard thing to do when you're out front. Well, when you're on your own. He is, of course, in 3rd. Now he's got someone to follow. He's got a target to chase. And often, drivers find that a lot easier than being chased. Onto the back straight, Jordan Taylor becoming a little bit concerned there, just having a look, just to see where Zander is. And to tell you, he's getting closer. Mahoney makes a mistake at the 2nd part of the boot there. Ran a little bit too wide. Up towards turn 3, Alan Curtis looking over his shoulder there. He's getting a little bit worried as they head through turn 3. Left through turn 4, now right downhill, turn 5, downhill in towards the downhill braking zone, turn 6. Out of there they go, and Alan Curtis is defending. Tor Ryan looks to the outside in towards turn 7. Can he get the run in towards turn 8? Yes, dives up the inside, and Tor Ryan goes over the curves. Fair play, gave Alan Curtis a lot of room on the exit there, and both live on to fight another day. Tor Ryan takes the place though, so that 6th place for Tor Ryan. Now he's got the place, but Alan Curtis fights back in the 2nd part of the boot. Good move that from Alan Curtis. Tor Ryan didn't seem too best pleased with it, but Alan Curtis now back into 6th. And they're still side by side across the line. Tor Ryan is going to take that place back.
That was a very siding manoeuvre in the front of Alan Curtis, heading into what was effectively the inside line going into turn 3 as the pair up into turn 2 as the pair come out of turn 3 into 4 and 5. Now heading down the hill slightly towards turn 6. And that move has allowed Tor Ryan to get a kart length or so ahead of Alan Curtis. So a resurgent drive from 16th out on track up on qualifying up to 6th place. So that's a good another sign of another driver showing damage control this weekend.
And yet again, the reigning champion, championship leader, heads up towards the boot for the last time. Round 6, the start of the second half of the championship, is on for victory. 1 corner to go, Alex.
And here we go, moments away. Bobby Trundley crosses the start-finish line and drifts it across to take round 6 of the 2017 Daytona DMAX Inter Enduro Championship comfortably. Ahead of a resurgent drive from Jordan Taylor, who ended up second after disaster struck for James Perry. Xander Mahoney rounds out the podium in 3rd place, having started from 5th. Curtis Mitchell, Tor Ryan, Alan Curtis, Anthony Kirk, Andrew Tempest and Nuno Costa. David Stevens, Daniel Russell in 11th, Tom Eastwood 12th ahead of Richard Lacey, Seb Cook, Lee Kerry, Sylvain Depierre down in 16th. Chris Hackworth, a very difficult race for him as well, down in 17th ahead of Philip Senior, Antonio Caccioli, with Renault Sport Racing's very own Andy Stobart completing the top 20. James Perry put it on pole, was running as high as the lead in the race in the early stages, but had the technical problem which forced him to pit and change karts, dropping him down to 21st in the end, ahead of John Donnelly, Stuart Shearman, Nigel Foote, Mark Ehrman and James Browning completing the finishing order, with Ollie Peacock retiring along with an injured Mike Copping, who had a spin going into turn 1 after contact with another vehicle. And Pete Lepan rounds out the finishing order here for round 6 of the 2017 Daytona DMAX Inter Enduro Championship here at Wilton Mill.
Xander, 3rd place. Good battle with Jordan towards the end there. In the end, just got away, but you must be chuffed with the podium.
Yeah, I mean, it's nice to be back. First time this year, 3rd time ever. I could see Jordan coming. Once he got out of the battle he was in, it was only a matter of time. And I was experimenting with taking a little bit more of the curb on the final corner, and I took too much and he was around me. And even with the toe, I couldn't live with him. I learned a couple of things though, watching, so we'll see how the heats go.
Well done. It's good to see you back on the podium. Jordan, though, a brilliant drive from you there. As you said, you set your fastest lap. The fastest lap, I think it was 59 minutes in, so clearly you didn't slow down throughout the race.
No, not at all. I mean, I knew I had to make some places, starting 15th, so no pressure, it's just move forward and head down.
Must have been a fun race, starting back from there and finishing second.
Yeah, it was interesting, a lot of good battles, so I can't complain, and not some racing with Xander as well, so yeah, it's all good.
Well done, well done. We'll speak to Bobby last of all then, the race winner. Of course, shame for James to have the problems he did. However, in the end, a very commanding victory for yourself. More points and getting closer to another championship.
Yeah, I mean, I am so sorry for James. I mean, he kept me honest until the 20 minutes to go mark, where his engine, I think, went pop or something, I don't know. But it was a cracking race. I made some great overtakes. 3 wide, Chris and Xander for kick-off. That was a bit of a risk, but decided to take it, and it's just pretty good racing all round. I mean, back markers were actually okay for once. You may have seen me get agitated, but it was brilliant.
Good stuff, well done. So we are here with Andy Stobart, who is racing in the Inter Enduro class today. Are you doing the heats as well, or just the Enduro?
Yeah, I'll stay for the afternoon to get some heat action in as well, yes.
And of course you work in Formula 1, which is quite a cool job, isn't it? You're head of communications at Renault. British Grand Prix this weekend, so you've been given a rare weekend off, I imagine, and decided to come down and have a play?
Yeah, absolutely. So I manage about 1 round of these a year, so we're not exactly match fit, but the timetable works perfectly, so I can disappear now, go watch the Grand Prix, and then back out for some heat action afterwards. So yeah, I mean, it's a fantastic championship. Wilton Mill, great track, and out there, great racing, an hour in the kart, you certainly know about it.
What is it you enjoy most about the championship? Obviously the karts are pretty quick as well, aren't they? The competitiveness, is it the grids? What is it you enjoy the most? I
mean, for me it's really easy. I can just arrive, you know, I do about once a year, so I just you know, put my money down. I know the karts are going to be good and competitive. The karts are far better than me, and the guys out there,
very good, clean racing. There's some really quick guys out there, you know, putting their feet down, and it's a great championship. Full stop.
So 1 round a year, is there ever a chance you might be able to do a couple more, or is work commitments always going to keep you too busy?
Well, generally I'm at a Grand Prix, and I keep telling Mark he needs to have them at weekends that aren't Grand Prix. So if you make that happen, absolutely, I'll do the full season.
Well, it's good to have you back again. Maybe next time get a couple more of the Renault boys down here, maybe get an inter-team battle going on.
Yeah, we'll try that, but they're all busy, you know, about 25 miles, or not even that, 15 miles away from here at Silverstone at the moment.
We have our 24-hour race later in the year. Maybe you can come along to that, get a team together.
I think it's the same weekend of the Japanese Grand Prix. I haven't looked into this.
I tried. Maybe 1 year, but thanks for coming to support the championship again. It's good to have you here.
Thank you.
I'm pretty pleased with that.
And there was one stage where I think it was yourself, Richard, I think Jordan, you were trying to work together to catch Zander, weren't you? But that never quite worked out, did it?
Yeah, absolutely. We could see we were catching up Zander. So instead of trying to overtake Jordan, I thought I'd work with him and give him a bit of boost down the straight, which we might have half distance, but I never quite got there. Jordan did.
But a good race overall, good fun.
Yeah, very pleased with that. So off to the heats now this afternoon, so I'm looking forward to.
Best of luck. Thanks for speaking to us. So that is it then for the Inter Enduro Round 6 here at Wilton Mill. If you want to get involved in the championship, visit our website or call this number.